Oh, Ken Calvert to be on the show here pretty soon. You know what? He's with us. We got him.
Oh, we got him?
Yeah, we got him. Hold on. I'm bringing him in.
Oh.
I'm bringing him into the
There he is.
Ladies and gentlemen, Poncho and Cisco live in the afternoon show. I am so
I don't have to wear cans.
I can't believe how proud I am. I'm sitting with two radio legends, not one, but two. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the one and only, the casual one, KC, Ken Calvert.
Hiya, guys.
Hi.
I'm just trying to adjust my volume here, if I could do that.
Sure you can.
This is
God, it's good to hear
this
the vocals.
My.
Isn't it?
Oh,
Say what?
It's incredible.
Yeah, I like this. This is cool.
Yeah.
Nice little chime there, eh? Huh?
Yeah.
Hello. It must be Amazon. Are you getting any slap back or any of that sort of thing?
Not unless he reaches over both of us and hits me.
Hold on. Oh, no, that's not a slap back.
I wanted to. Can I do something real quick just to see if it works?
You can do anything you want.
I wanted to see. I don't want to remove myself from the stream though.
No.
I got a green screen. I'm all excited. I got a green screen.
Ooh.
Okay.
And I can change what's behind me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But I'm trying. I don't know. Let's try it. Okay, now if I lose you, come on back. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I still see him. He's still there.
All right.
Let's see.
You can see.
There he is.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I can change the back. Well, I don't want to waste a lot of time with that.
Right.
That's
Don't
sort
change,
of
Ken. We love you the way you are.
Yes, we do. I'm going to turn most of this over to Poncho, but Ken, I got to tell you, I have to thank you.
More music in the morning. Yeah.
For the years of enjoyment and pleasure on the radio. And I just can't thank you enough. God bless you, man. How you holding up during this whole Coroni thing?
I was just watching Whitmer, and it'll be 9 weeks tomorrow. 9 weeks tomorrow that we were ordered into our shelter in place. 9 weeks. Think about that. That's a long time. I'm getting a little stir crazy. I really am. I find myself just going for car rides and just looking around. And although I see a lot of activity picking up, I don't know what you guys are noticing out there, but
yeah, same thing.
I'm seeing a lot of action out there. I think a lot of people are kind of like going, yeah, I'm kind of on board, but I'm not really on board anymore. So, but I realized that I also look like I went all out. I should tell you the story about this.
Okay, tell us. I got
so bored. And I was fooling around with Zoom, and I started looking at stuff, and everybody said, you got to have a green screen. Okay. So I said, okay, I'll get a green screen. And I went on Amazon, and they said, there's a Wheeler kit. It's a Wheeler kit. And I never heard of the name before. Mm-hmm. And as it turns out, the Wheeler kit came with these two big lights, soft lights, 4 of them actually, a 10-foot green screen, and all sorts of stands. It looked like my drum kit, or if I had Neil Peart's drum kit. That's so many stands where, click, 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 zzz, 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 zzz. So I was like going, wow, this is heavy gauge. It came Saturday. So I've been fooling around with it ever since. But then I started getting into how you can add backgrounds to it.
Yeah.
And it only, really cool. You've seen that before, Poncho. Yeah. It comes with like a brick wall and then this elaborate home that's got like a baby grand over in the corner. And it's just so tricked out that I just started.
Your background right now is something that's, I don't know if you can see it there, Cisco.
I can see it.
Ken Calvert right now, right over his shoulder. I'm still getting your finger thing.
Let me pop it full screen.
Yeah.
As the Journey Captured Live Platinum album. I could tell it is that.
Yeah.
Oh, what
Yeah,
a I have, eh? Look at that.
If you want to go down the hall, or go down the wall, rather, the wall of shame, it's can you go back to the one shot for just a second?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay, there's the iconic Seeger Springsteen Calvert at Pine Knob.
Yeah, I see it.
That was September 2nd, 1979. That was the date that for me was the highlight of my career, really, because that was the day that I introduced Springsteen to Bob Seger. They had never met before.
Wow.
I was working for Columbia Records at the time, and you can go back to putting yourselves back in the picture. You don't have to bear with me that much longer. Back. And anyway, so that was probably the highlight of my career. September 2nd, 1979. Bruce had an off day, and he was looking for something to do, and I was like, Kenny, I'm looking for something to do. And I said, well, Seeger's playing Pine Knob. And he said, let's go. I want to see Bob. Never seen Bob Seger. I said, okay. So we got on the tour bus, and I was doing A&R for Columbia Records for 3 years, and that's all I could stand. Because we all know what happens when you go out on the road with rock and rollers. Yeah. You know, so anyway, long story short, we go out there, and they're not going to let us backstage. There was a big dude at Pine Knob, and he said, I don't know you, and you're not coming back here. Luckily, I caught Bill Blackwell, and Blackwell let us back there. Seeger was about to go on. We ran back real quickly. Thomas Weschler, I believe, I know it was Thomas Weschler, took the photo. And then they took a separate one of just Bob and Bruce, and that one's everywhere. But that was it. That was my big night.
That's such an iconic photo too.
Yeah, it really is. It's my all-time favorite. And I got Seeger to sign it a few years ago. But yeah, that was just one of the highlights. But sorry to bore you with that.
No, that's incredible. If I was ever to meet,
don't touch your face, Ken. Don't touch your face.
If I was ever to meet Bruce Springsteen, the first thing I tell him is that he's not the boss of me.
We'll try it. See what happens.
I mean,
let me know how that works out for you.
If it ever happened, I just say, "Hey, Bruce, I love you and everything, but you're not the boss of me, okay?" And he'd be probably like, I don't know.
Let's you and I get something straight right now, okay?
Okay.
I'm the boss. Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
it's gonna go that way.
Casual one, I'll let you be the boss of me. Before I'm gonna turn this over to Poncho for a little bit, but I just have to lay the groundwork on this. Your very first job in the entertainment business. Very first job.
My very first job, really. If you really want to go technically, being around it, I was working as I had two jobs. I was working at I quit drinking for the COVID-19 thing because of I know, isn't that nice? I have one, but it doesn't say more music in the morning. I think that's when the PD told me to shut up and play more music. And it reminded me over and over again that music is the hallmark of the radio station. Ken, people like you, but music is the hallmark of the radio station. So but they put it on a coffee cup so I could see it every time. Remember, Ken, music is the hallmark of the radio station. Anyway, the long story short was I was working two jobs. I was working at a Kroger as a cashier and a stocker. And then I worked at a place called The Meeting Place out on Orchard Lake Road. It was in the basement of the Meeting Place. It was a seafood restaurant, really nice restaurant. And in the basement, a guy by the name of Mark Ridley was trying out this thing called comedy.
Whoa.
And that's where, and Mike Binder was the guy that he was working with, Detroit's own Mike Binder. And Binder was kind of booking these little acts. And that's kind of the closest I ever got that was my first real taste of being around guys that wanted to be comics, and
Mhm.
I wanted to be on the radio, but I dug comics. And so anyway, that was like my very first foot in the water. After that, it was radio all the way. I knew from age 9 I wanted to be on the radio. I knew as soon as I started listening to Keener 13 and CKLW, and my dad gave me a transistor radio when I was like 8 or 9 years old, and it had an alligator clip, and I would plug into the alligator clip at night and time travel all over the country. I'd listen to WLS in Chicago, Super CFL,
Yeah.
DVE in Pittsburgh, and all of these great radio stations, and listen to ball games all over the country, and I just dug it. But I had such a passion for Robin Seymour and Lee Allen and all of these guys that were on the radio. Lee Allen on the horn with Make It or Break It, and just some great stuff. So I told my dad had a great voice, and I'll end right here. My dad had a great voice. He said, you got to work with that. You got to enunciate. You got to learn to talk and do. So I started cutting out newspaper articles, and I would do the news, the weather, the sports. And he gave me a little tape recorder, and I started practicing doing that. And then I always just sort of had the ability to mimic other people. So it was just one thing led to another, and that's how it all happened.
Now,
and then one day I was,
Did you have actual formal training? Did you go to school or you just got in the business?
You just
I was
looks.
Yes.
I'll tell you what happened. I went to OCC, and I'll try and make this quick as well. I went to OCC.
We got all the time in the world.
I went to OCC, and OCC had a small little radio station. I think it was a 10-watter or something, whatever college radio stations can have. And I was doing, if you take 12 credit hours, they had to give you a show on the air if you wanted a radio program. So I ended up going to the PD, the little PD, who was like all PDs, you know what I mean? Don't forget to wear some red paper hat in this operation. And so I was like, okay, Sarge, whatever you say. And so I got a morning show at WORB, and they had to partner us. So I partnered with a woman by the name of Randy Stember. And she was really, really an attractive, really talented female that was just so ahead of the curve. She ended up getting a job at W4. She told the PD at W4 in 1973 that there was a guy that she worked with that she thought was really good. And he said, well, maybe I can interview him. And she said, you really ought to. And he said, okay, because the radio station then had just been purged. They lost 4 people to a new radio station in Dallas, KZEW. And it was Mark Daddy Addy. Mark Daddy Addy. Guy by the name of Ira J. Cook was the PD. They lost everybody. They lost a lot of people. So I end up going down for an interview, and I went over to Belle Isle with Don Schuster, who was the program director, stopped and got a bucket of chicken. He had a couple of fatties in his top pocket. And we went over to Belle Isle and started talking about radio. And we really enjoyed the trip. And I went home, and he said, I'd love to do something with you sometime, but you really got to go do the I-75 shuffle, start up north, work your way down. But you got it, man. You got it. You're going to make it. And I said, okay, God, thank you. Oh, I so owe you. So about 3 hours later, he called me at home. I was living with 3 other guys. And he called me and he said, hey, don't go to sleep. Remember you said that I owe you. He said, well, you owe me. And what you're going to do is you're going to do the all-night show tonight. My all-night guy never makes it to work. And so you're in. I'll give you $50 and you got to do midnight to 6. Don't go to sleep. Don't go to bed. Make a pot full of coffee and just get here. And anyway, I got there. I did midnight to 6, worst radio in the history of the planet, but each hour better and better and better. And he said, thank you so much. I'll send you a check. Give me your address. Called me Monday morning and said, how would you like to do 2 till 6 in the afternoon? No, I take that back. 6 till 10, Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 on Saturday, and I'll pay you $750 a month. And I said, what? What did you... The PD's on the phone. Okay, deal. And that was it.
Wow.
And that's where it all started. But here's the catch. Randy Thomas, whose real name is Randy Stember, went on to do much bigger things, still doing it. She is the voice. Oh, she was, and I think still is the voice of Entertainment Tonight, the Academy Awards, the Tonys, the Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those are the same. Those are the same, Ken. The Golden Globes. That beautiful female voice that you hear saying, you know, this is Ken's first nomination and first, you know, that's what she's doing now. So,
For a while.
yeah. So that's how it all happened, guys. And then from there, I went to WABX. From there, I went to Columbia Records. From there, I went to WRIF. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, in my greatest throne radio voice, I'm going to step out for a few minutes and I'm going to make it legend a legend. My man, Poncho, and the one and only, the casual one. Enjoy this, folks. It's going to be awesome.
I think I just bored him to tears, didn't I?
No, you didn't. You can. I can listen to you for hours.
Well, you did not. I can't wait to see this. This is going to be great. You guys go.
We
all right, we're on. We're rolling.
I kind of have a mutual start the same way. I got over to Riff, and Doug put me on from it was Saturday night, midnight to 6. So I said, sure, more than hell, great to do that. So I did the midnight to 6, and I was waiting for Mark Addy to show up Sunday morning. And granted, this was my first shift ever on the station. Mark Addy was supposed to be there at 6. Well, in the studio, there was no numbers to call anybody. No numbers to call Doug or the program, anybody, the music director, any of it. So Mark's late at 6. Mark's late at 7. Mark's late at 8. Mark's late at 9. And it wasn't until 11:30 that Mark Addy called on the hotline and said, I am so sorry. I overslept. So my first actual shift was
about 10 hours.
Yeah. And I felt so bad. I felt so bad because Mark Addy was always a big hero to me. And pretty much after that and stuff, they kind of let Mark go. And I was just like, whoa. That's
I had the same situation with I was living in Chicago working for Columbia Records, and Jim Johnson called me. Calvert Johnson, I want you to quit Columbia. We need you here at Riff. And I went, oh, okay, Jim, I'll just quit what I'm doing. And but eventually that turned out to be one of the most fortuitous calls I ever received. I at least said, well, listen, I'm coming to Detroit anyway. Let's get together. I ended up meeting with Tom Bender, who went on.
Speaking of Tom,
where'd he go? It's my show.
He's
all mine. Hi, everybody. I'm Ken Calvert. Hey, it's Dick
Tom.
Curtin. Oh, that's right.
It's Tom.
Right. He always.
It's from Tom's retirement party.
Sorry. They look alike.
Yeah.
In that picture. In that little cartoon, they look very much alike. Anyway, I mean, it's, from there, it was just a myriad of radio gigs. And not like, God, I don't know. What do you figure? About 80% of the of us broadcasters, eventually you get that phone call in the morning, and that your key fob and pad no longer works. And why don't you pull up and we'll give you a manila envelope, and you're on your way. What do you do?
I always got that phone call. What the hell are you playing?
Yeah. Yeah. What radio station are you working for?
Well, you got to admit, you've worked at like the pinnacle of what Detroit radio. I don't want to say the golden age, but I would like to call it the kick-ass rockin' stage.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, in fact, 1983, we had four stations all on the same time. You had Riff, Wheels, ABX, and W4 all on at the same time. And you were in with probably the best lineup in radio in history.
Yeah.
Was that your favorite time in radio? That point right there?
Absolutely, positively. Those were the days, friends. We thought they'd never end. And it was just magic. It was so bizarre at the time. The chemistry, the way it just eventually, after about a year, it became so dynamic. It was unreal. I mean, we had numbers ratings wise that were just, out of this world. And we had just gone from working in these two trailers, these two double wide, literally a double wide, into this gorgeous new complex that was beyond belief, to go from one extreme to the other, where the equipment that we had in the trailers, you could open a window, when it got really hot, and all sorts of, there was all sorts of calamity with that, hijinks, if you will. One time, I think during the morning show, a squirrel jumped through the window with JJ and George. I remember on my show, you got a lot of props, man. That's good. I don't have anything. I've got a good RX card.
There you go.
And I've got another pair of readers, and I got a cell phone. So I got that going for me. I'm equipped this time, believe me. But that was without a doubt the most incredible time ever. I mean, think about that lineup. It was solid for 24 straight hours. And then the Arthur KC crossovers became,
those are classic.
That was like another radio station within a radio station, one day a week. And that was, we do that every Friday, the crossovers. And those were off the meter. Ladies and gentlemen, staff and management have assembled here in the hallways of WRIF, their heads staring down as a 63. What the heck was, I can't remember exactly how I did it. The Samoan manservants, ever so gingerly now, lifting the big man out of his van. The van that says, if this van's a knocking, don't come. No, if this van's a rocking, don't come knocking. And we I used that Moody Blues track, and then we went into the Yardbirds and Jeff Spoogie. God, that was great. That stuff.
I had to pop.
You got to get the grumpy old man. You gonna get grumpy out there? Yeah. Go ahead. Anybody.
I had to pop back in just because you nailed it on the head. That lineup was without a doubt 24 hours of awesome. 24 hours of awesome. Yeah. I don't think my radio station ever got changed for like years and years and years. It was just stuck there the whole time that was going on. So thank you very much.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you. And thank you, caller. And we'll continue. But I remember also, don't forget that was the time when WLLZ came into town, and I think Lee Arnold was the PD. And I want to think, maybe I'm just making this up, but it seems to me he landed a helicopter on the lawn over at Lawrence Tech. got out
Army
and like, yeah, and pointed at us and said like, "You're going down."
Yeah,
And then WLOZ, yeah, yep, yep, and they went commercial free for 98 days.
Yep.
And played nothing but our music, and there was no way.
Mhm.
And giving away cash, giving away a lot of money.
That's all you
So
hear.
that was
At the top of the hour, would just go 98.7 WLLZ Detroit. And then boom, another hour of great kick-ass rock and roll.
absolutely, yeah, and it was like guys were like, "Hey, it's kind of like a slow breakup with a girlfriend." You know what I mean? I mean, listen, I love you, but there's this other station that I gotta,
I gotta try it.
and then you start to saw, or you started to see, or you would, whatever, you saw kids riding around, with LLZ T-shirts on.
Mm-hmm. And
they were doing ticket, yeah, and that was like, no, it's starting to crack, it's starting to crumble. And then when Karen left to go to WCSX, when they signed on, that was like, no, say it ain't so.
Right.
We were all like blocking the door with Karen. It was like, you can't go.
Don't go.
All plants will die.
Hey.
That's Mitch Albom's line. Sorry about that. But no, they were great days, Scott. And then I had the chance to be in the same building with you, arguably one of the world's greatest, nicest humans I've ever met.
Thank you.
The only man I know that rolls without any shape or form of an ego. And just a master, does great radio. I apologize for a thin voice, but
no problem.
I think it's the heat coming off of my new equipment. My wife is gonna kill me, man. I'm telling you. Woo. But yeah, so I mean, I'm trying to think. Oh, and then the Pistons. Right now, it's really interesting because of Michael Jordan and The Last Dance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
and the second weekend, boy, when he was the Bad Boys, that was like right in my sweet spot.
Yeah,
I was there every single night, and I was there when we lost to Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was there when we beat Boston. I was on the mic when we beat the Bulls, and did it twice, as a matter of fact, back to back. Well, the first time the Lakers,
right?
But no, it was some. And then we pounded on them pretty good, because I think second time around was Seattle or Portland. God, I'm starting to lose my mind. I'm losing stuff now.
Yeah,
what's
the inside story on how you got that job with the Pistons? Because it's just not like it's a normal thing that they put out a casting call. It's like, hey, we're looking for somebody to really, really help us out. And you were the spark, actual big spark that helped them.
Yeah, you know what happened on that? That was I used to go out to the games. I had some buddies, and they were playing in the Silver Dome, and the guy that did the VO was Gary May, really a good guy. And Gary May, really great voice. And we would, after the games, we would go up to the main event. Remember the main event at the Silver Dome?
Good food.
It was great. It was great, and a great bar.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great place to go after a game and let traffic kind of, chill. And so I bumped into him a couple of times, and I said, "Hey, man, I love what you do. That's awesome." And he said, "Well, you got a good set of pipes. You're on riff, man. If I ever get sick or anything, give me your number. I'll call you." And I went, "Oh, okay, cool." So I gave him my number, and he called me one day, and he said, "Hey, I'm coaching. It was in fall. I think he was an assistant coach with Berkeley or something like that." I apologize to Gary if I'm getting it wrong, but I know he was a football coach, and he couldn't make a lot of games in the fall. So I filled in, And, it wasn't that bad. It actually kind of went okay.
Mhm.
I had a guy to the right and left who were both helping me out. And next thing you know, at the end of that year, I ended up doing about 18 or 19 games.
Mhm.
And at the end of the year, Matt Dobeck called me and said, "Hey, we're going to make a switch and you're going to be the new PA guy." And I went, "No, no, 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 no. I got too much on my plate, man." And I said, "I'd have to get permission from ABC and all of that." And he said, "Oh, it doesn't matter. We're moving on. We're moving on from, the things with Gary. He's got his things going now and all that." And he said, "But you're the guy." I said, "Well," and so I went to work and I said, "I got this phone call," and they were like, "Do it. Do it. It would be great for the image, great for the radio station. Do it, do it, do it." So I did it, not knowing that it would be, God, I don't know, 16, 17 years.
Mhm.
And yeah. And then in 2001, I said, time to cut it out. Just too much. Because I was doing 2 till 6
Mhm.
and I had to be right out at the Palace after
Right.
that. And man, winters in Michigan, you never know. It's like leaving Southfield, getting all the way out there. So it was a rough road. So, but
And you
good time.
couldn't always take the Riff helicopter at the time.
No, we could not. Although I rode in the Channel 7 helicopter a lot.
Yeah.
That was fun. I knew the pilot. He was
Oh,
great.
really?
Oh, yeah, Ashley. And he would come and drop off somebody and they would get out. And I always would come out and watch him. I just dug it. I thought it was cool. And he said, "Well, if you ever want to go with me to get gas, let me know." I went, "I'll do it. Here I am." So all of a sudden, hey,
Look at that. Popped up.
Look at that guy. He had hair.
Now,
that was
people
I like that.
ask you, where did the iconic phrases come out of the pipes of yours at those Piston games? That basically was a trademark to my childhood that everyone emulated for years and years and years. And
well, you know what it was me impersonating.
Mason did, but
yeah. Well, the thing was, one of the things that I did, and I think I did pretty well, is go to Mars, ladies and gentlemen. What I did was I just started impersonating, like "This is Jeopardy," that sort of thing. I just came into one. I went into one of those deals, and it was like that. When we first started doing it, it was not that big a deal. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem. Remove your caps. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And now let's meet the world's greatest athletes. First, our guests, the Chicago Bulls. A guard, the center, 2 forwards, and the head coach is. And then all of a sudden, when we moved down the street to the Palace, when that was done, that's when they started to really getting into production. Pete Scorch, who's still there, does an incredible job. Pete Scorch really started getting into the production value. And that's when we got into the final countdown and that boom, boom, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet and greet. Get on your feet for your Detroit Pistons. Crowd goes crazy. Starting at one of the guards wearing, number 11, the captain, Isaiah Thomas. I didn't do a lot of the. That was about the only time I kind of came out of my grill, if you will. A lot of guys were into that. He's 6'10". He's from the University of,
right.
Mason kills it. Mason just completely took it to a whole new area, man.
Yeah.
And he's got that's awesome what he does. I mean, I was just like, okay. I mean, he's got the man with the plan who can, he can take it to your stand. He is a beast. And I was like, wow.
You opened the door for him to have that freedom, I believe.
Well, I don't know if I opened the door. When I said I can't do it anymore, Pete said, come on. I said, no, I really gotta. It's time, man. It's time. And So he said, what about, so he came and he said, what about Mason? I said, Mason is you want me to finer guy.
Mm-hmm.
You will not meet a finer guy. I said, he's wonderful. He's just the greatest guy on the planet. And so I think Pete was real comfortable with it, and he just jumped right in there. And boy, he built it.
Yeah.
He built, and he became iconic, still is.
Mm-hmm.
But half the NBA started stealing his whole act.
Huh.
But they ended up flying him around. He did the All-Star games. He did three, whatever, the dunkathons, all of that. But no, God, I've done so much.
Yeah.
I'm so blessed. I'm so lucky.
With the players also, you
have a green screen now.
Right on that table, right there. Now, did you ever have a chance to talk with Joe Dumars and stuff about?
Oh God, yeah. Oh man, yes. Sure. Yeah. All the time. Sure, because what you would do is as the game would end, we would go into the back, into the press room.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a great room at the Palace. And every time before the game, big spread, buffet every single night. And then about 15 large tables, and everybody just sit around. You just find a space to sit. And then at the end of the game, they had like snacks, you know what I mean? They had like cake, pie, ice cream, and this gigantic one of these.
Oh, you said no props. Look at this.
A little noise that'll blow your head off. But they had a garbage can that was gigantic that was just solid ice and cold beer.
Wow.
And it was like, okay, I'll kill a couple of beakers. And then I would go into the presser and watch the press conference. And then I would see the guys coming out of the locker room afterwards, and it was always or whatever it was. We were like Sal, Joe, Isaiah was always great. Everybody, Lane Beer kept to himself. Lane Beer one time whenever Lane Beer would they would travel, they'd always right after a game, they just had their stuff with them, and Lane Beer would come in and grab some food and maybe a beaker, and off you'd go. I'd say, "How you doing, Billy?" But as it turns out, he turned out to be a really, really good guy.
Yeah.
But Joe was really cool. Joe was very quiet, but Joe was very cool. Grant Hill was a great guy. I had a lot of fun with Grant. Rodman, I knew Rodman before Rodman even got remotely crazy.
Yeah.
Rodman was just a kid from where did he go? Southeast Oklahoma, I think. And he was lost. He didn't know. He couldn't believe where he was and what he was doing. And he was wearing flannel shirts and baseball caps backwards. He loved to play video games. And one kiss from Madonna and the whole thing changed, man. But Dennis was great. Everybody was great. Buddha was great. I mean, I can't think. Chuck Daly was just a great guy. Sure. I'll tell you a real quick story about Chuck Daly. One night, I always would stand behind the stands while the teams came out. And Daly held back one time. He said, "Hey, one of these days we got to get together and have a beer." I said, "Sure, I'd love to." He writes down his phone number on a book of matches, hands it to me. About a week later, he said, "What'd you do with my phone number?" I said, "I have it." He goes, "You never called. I thought we were going to have a beer." Wow. And I was like, Chuck Daly and I are going to have a beer. So we went to Giannopolis and had a couple of Frosties. It was great.
Wow.
So a lot of those guys, Chuck's gone, Matt's gone. It's sad, kind of sad in a way, but
I'm sure
those were again
a ton of stories also when you were doing the record promotion gig. being a record label rep and
Yeah.
out with all the bands and everything. In fact, I'm going to shoot you a name, see if it rings a bell. Very
Yeah.
famous promoter, Mr. Jack.
Yeah. Oh, Ashton, of course. Jack Ashton. Jack Ashton looks more like Jack Ashton today than he did then. And that's impossible to do.
I want his hair. Perfect.
He literally, the outfits that the record guys were wearing back in the day were just incredible. And I was the kind of like the PD, assistant PD to a guy by the name of Bob Birch at WABX. And that's when it was hot and heavy, man. And the guys were all wearing Guess jeans and they had all sorts of outfits. But nobody wore an outfit like Jack Ashton. I mean, he still does. No, he's probably one of the. All of these guys are awesome.
Yeah,
they're just great guys. Who else you got?
Found out you were going to be on the show, so we left a couple questions for you from Jack.
He did.
Yes.
Okay.
He wants to know when you were the PD at WABX.
76, 77.
And he asked what your favorite artist moment was.
Favorite artist moment was when WRIF flew me to Chicago to do an interview with Paul McCartney.
Wow.
That was the highlight of my early career. What did I do with that? Hold on a second.
Sure.
Hold on. I got to get something. I'm coming back. Okay.
See the album, Cisco? The Journey album?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Full screen.
Yep.
I got him.
Okay, I got to get back in my little chair without knocking over my green screen. I got a green screen. Did I tell you that?
Yes.
Okay, so I got to do this. You getting it?
Yeah. Got to lift it up.
See that?
Little higher. Oh, my God. That's amazing. What era was that? That would, was that Wing?
That would have been,
was that
Wing? Was it Venus and Mars?
Oh, wow.
No, I know what it was. It was probably the worst album he did. I shouldn't say that. He had a hit on it. Give my regards to Broad Street. It was but they flew me to do that. And what you'd see in that picture is that the microphone was actually, because we each had 10 minutes with the guy. We each had 10 minutes. And we went right. It was that he was staying at the Drake in Chicago. Yeah. That was really cool.
I would be totally like Chris Farley and be like, hey, remember when you were with the Beatles? That was cool.
It's funny you mentioned Chris. Yeah. Oh, Chris Farley. When I did an interview once with John Farley when he was with Second City.
Right.
And he was with Second City for like 3 years.
Oh.
Well, all of a sudden, that when Second City was in Detroit, and he was doing all of a sudden, I forget how it happened, but they said Chris Farley's on the phone. He wants to surprise John Farley. And I was like, really? So Chris Farley got on the phone with us, and it was the coolest 10 minutes I think I've ever spent. You know what I mean? Because he was just Chris Farley busting his brother's chops. And he was going to be on Carson that night. So, and I hate to say this, but it should be fairly obvious that, I just love meeting anybody that I used to tell people it was like so weird. In order for Jordan to check in, he'd have to sit down directly in front of me. There was a box that the NBA had, and he would have to sit there. But I'm going over my time, man. If you want to dump me, I get that. So,
Jack? Hey, hold on. Well, this is your life, Ken. On the phone with us right now is Mr. Jack Ashton right now.
Hey, Jack.
Hey, Kenny.
How are you?
I'm doing fine, Kenny. Hey, sounds fantastic. I mean, I swear to God, I close my eyes and I'm just thinking, you're on ADX, you're on W4, everything. That voice.
Yeah. So thank you. Listen. I spent the night at your place. How many years ago when you were living in San Francisco?
All the best.
Jack, turn your radio down. You know
It's
how
not
this
me.
goes.
No,
it's not you, Ben.
You'll have to translate for me, Scott, because I'm not hearing him that well.
Here, hold on.
I don't know what he's saying.
To translate. Well, we'll have to call you back, Jack.
I got the okay.
Hey,
Jack,
Poncho.
yeah, Jack asked. Yeah.
He did ask one more question. He wants to know who your favorite label promoter was.
Jack Ashton. There were some good ones. Normie Osborne, Jim Strittmatter. Who were some of these other guys? There were some dandies. The late Tim Walter with A&M. Look at that.
It's Charlie Barley.
Wow. Well, I'll let you guys. You got a 5 o'clock hour you got to do.
So we're not done with you yet.
Promotions in for
Wait.
your website,
Settle down.
your website, and where they can find you in your podcast.
Well, when I've been really bad. I'm going to get better at it though. My podcast is, if you want to go www.thekencalvertshow.com, TheKencalvert.com. Follow me on Twitter. Oh man, I blew up this weekend. I blew up on Twitter. I've never had this happen before.
Really?
I happened to be, don't ask me how this happened, but I was watching AP and as Little Richard crossed on AP,
Yeah.
I put it up.
Wow.
And then I immediately remember hearing a story about Little Richard marrying Tom Petty.
Yes, that was amazing. I caught that with you.
And I put that up and I got 3,500 likes. It just went crazy. And
Yep.
I had people saying, because I had just Googled earlier, what's an impression? If you look at the analytics for some of these things,
Mhm.
and my impressions were yeah. So anyway, my impressions are very, very good right now. But anyway, so at Ken Calvert Show Twitter, at Ken Calvert Show Twitter, and the Ken Calvert Show right here on. Oh, where can I get my finger to do it?
I got it.
I'm
I got
horrible
it
at
right
this.
here. Right here.
There it is.
The KenCalvertShow.com.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. The KenCalvertShow.com. And then on Facebook, I have a Facebook. I really would like you to like my Facebook page.
Yeah. Well, I already did.
Yeah, the Ken Calvert Show.
How many freaking times can I like it?
Well, I'm
How many
sorry.
times?
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
And Ken,
Anyway,
in my hand, I got artist.
yeah.
This is called Ken's Choice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw out two names, and without you can't think about it, you can't do anything. But you can only choose one. Okay.
Only one.
Okay. Little Richard or Chuck Berry.
Oh, Chuck Berry.
Okay. Elvis or Jerry Lee Lewis.
Got to go with Elvis.
Yeah, you have to. He's the king.
I have to. Yeah.
BB King or Buddy Guy.
Oh boy, I'm gonna go with the purist, Buddy Guy.
That's my choice.
Yeah.
Cream or the Yardbirds.
Oh man, you're getting into these really subjective areas.
Yes,
I feel like I'm back on morning radio. Jim O'Brien loved to do this. Boy.
It's a toughie.
Oh man, you gotta take the bands. You gotta take.
You only get
You
one.
gotta take. You get the power of three. Boy. Oh. Well, I'm just gonna say because of the. Do I get all the incarnations of the Yardbirds?
No.
All of the various.
Oh, it's one or the other. Cream or the okay. Cream.
All right.
No.
I've made my decision.
Okay.
It's been very, very tough for me to do this, but I've been thinking about it for about 2 days now, and it's absolutely. It was the band that left the first and lasting impression on me. It's got to be the Yardbirds.
It's very interesting.
Okay.
The big one, the Beatles or the Stones?
Oh, once again.
Uh-huh.
Jim O'Brien would love this.
I love Jim.
He would absolutely love it. Yeah. Oh God. It's just not fair, but I know that
I got him. Folks. I got him.
If I gotta tell you, just based on chronologically, that I'll never forget that February night in 1964, the Beatles on Ed Sullivan.
Yeah.
And that's what tipped it for me in their direction. So I'm going to say the Beatles, although I find the Rolling Stones probably to be the most enduring, incredible. I mean, there's just not enough time left in. You could go for a month with that. You could debate that for a year. Ask Doug Podell that.
Well, they're an enigma. The Stones are like an enigma. The Beatles just ruined it for everybody. The Beatles ruined it for everybody.
It took a virus to stop the Stones, and that didn't even stop them.
Okay.
Yeah. There was. Yeah.
Zeppelin or Black Sabbath?
Led Zeppelin.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
Hey, Poncho.
Hey, Cisco.
Check this one out. Van Halen or Def Leppard?
Oh, is there something going on here?
No.
Van Halen.
Yay.
Okay, and for the final one, I just pulled this. I pulled this whole thing out of my butt, so who cares? Kid Rock or Uncle Cracker?
I'm gonna go with Uncle Cracker.
Cracker's got a good song too.
Well, he was on the show.
Yes.
Well, no, he does have a new song, and he recorded the vocals at our very own Sound Shop studio with Kevin Wesley Williams. So check it out. You
say no more. Say no more.
So if I'm correct, you officially retired after 40 years back in I believe 2013. Is that correct?
2016, full-time 2013. Yeah.
Why?
It was
this year.
Halloween. Because nobody called after that either.
We're standing at the door right now.
Where are you working?
No, Ken, don't leave. Don't leave. Come back. We need you.
Okay. Get into that Mitch album line again. Can't leave. All the plants will die.
All the plants.
That's another subject we'll get in. I'll tell you that story the next time. I have another little project going on that I'll tell you all about.
Well, we'd love to have you back, Ken. Ken, you are welcome anytime. It's one of my great longtime heroes.
Thank you.
I remember you probably don't, but some little pimple-faced kid at the parking lot of the Pontiac Silverdome during the great football strike. I had heard that my hero, KC the Casual, King Chili, was going to be out broadcasting. So I had hurried up and I had a batch of my own Screamin' Chili.
But yeah. Okay.
Screaming yet. I was just Ken Calvert, riff fan, drove all the way to the Pontiac Silverdome, found you out as it came up. Mr. Calvert, will you try my chili? And it took you a second, and you looked. It's like I don't know. Tupperware container, took a little bit, and you went, well, not too bad. And that made my whole career right there.
Really? Oh, that's yeah. Well, okay. So you're a chili head. I know that. So wait a minute. I didn't say anything like, dude, this chili is screaming. It's screaming. What's your name?
Yeah.
And you said Scott, and I said, this is screaming, Scott.
Oh,
But I'll have to show you the photo because I took a photo of you eating my chili, and it has stuck with me all these years later.
wait, you have a picture? You have a picture of that?
I have a picture of beating Casey.
Why is that not in my possession right now? Why don't I have that?
Where is it?
Yeah,
It's back in the Scott's garage.
this is ridiculous.
I'll have to dig it out.
All right.
Unbelievable.
You guys have gone long enough. It's time for a
KC,
where's your sound maker? When do you guys take a sip?
Oh,
There you go.
cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you guys. I really had seriously, this was a BALL with a capital B.
Oh man, no, thank you as a fan and now hopefully a friend. We're so honored to have you on the show, ladies and gentlemen. The one, the only, KC, the casual one, Ken Calvert on the Poncho and Cisco Live in the Afternoon Show. Thank you, KC. We love you, brother.
Let's grab a
See
frost.
you later.
Bye bye.
See you later, man. You guys dump me or do I dump you?
We'll dump you. Bye bye.
I'm being dumped, so
We just hit the dump one on the casual one. I just dumped the casual one.
he's my hero. It's
Wow.
I get I could go on for hours talking.
For days. I would have kept him on the rest of the show if he wanted to keep talking. Without a doubt. That guy is so humble.
Got to thank a person because that was just unbelievable.
No, without a doubt. Without a doubt. This show just continues to amaze me.
Mm-hmm.
It amazes me. I'm amazed by the whole thing. I neglected though, Poncho.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I'm like speechless right now.